May we now request Mrs. Anita Karwal, Secretary, Department of School Education and Literacy, Ministry of Education, Government of India, to please share her views on AI integration in education. Ms. Karwal has driven multiple transformational initiatives and led the making of the recently released New Education Policy 2020. She has been instrumental in introducing AI in schools in India.
Let me tell you about our AI journey, which probably some of you would not know. There is this lecture series which is arranged by Niti Aayog. Every year, I think it's twice or thrice a year, all Joint Secretary and above level officers were invited to a lecture on artificial intelligence, its applications, and where does India stand as far as AI is concerned. What struck me, the lecture was in fact very interesting, but what struck me in the lecture is when the speaker said that India may have already missed the bus. And that is something which, as an educationist, I felt is something we should not take lying down. That's when I came back to CBSE, and the two of my driving forces who are here, Dr. Biswajit Saha, our Director Training, and Dr. Joseph Emmanuel, right here, who is our Director Academics. I spoke to them and they said, we will make this dream a reality. We will introduce AI in the curriculum, and we started working on it. We met Shweta, and that's how history began. And we, being an examination conducting body, we really do not have the expertise each time to develop this kind of curriculum. And AI, of course, there was no question that we had the expertise. That's when Shweta and team walked in, and it was such a pleasant meeting with them when in the first meeting they said, we'll do it for you. What is the problem? I said, oh my God, this is a historic moment. They helped us develop the curriculum, and then to take it further, the best thing that they did was this fast tracking with these schools. So this whole idea of doing these pilot workshops, fast tracking the curriculum with certain schools and seeing where it takes them, this idea was developed, and this is what we have today. So I was talking to these kids, and I was asking them what happened before and what happened after. What has the curriculum done to you? Has it opened your horizons? What does it do to you? And the children are very frank in accepting the fact that they were scared of things like coding. They didn't know whether they would be able to actually do it. One child mentioned that the best thing about this whole curriculum is that we are exposed to SDGs. Now, this is something unique. We don't do it in our curriculum otherwise. We may be doing it in project work, etc., but some schools take it up, others don't. But here, the curriculum includes SDGs, and I think, the impact which that portion of the curriculum has had on their minds, and also the culturally relevant locations and lives and societies that they come from, each project is so amazing. And while I was talking to these kids, I realized that aside from giving them this competency of coding, of AI, etc., I think the main competency that we have given them, or a value system, is the courage to take risks, and that power to feel that, yes, I will be able to take something forward on my own. This is what this country needs. These children are going to be nation builders. It's a huge, huge contribution we are doing to the nation through this curriculum. So what we felt is that why don't we integrate AI in education, in the pedagogical process itself. In an AI integrated curriculum, it is not necessary that the class or the teacher would be teaching AI. The class or the teacher would be learning history with the help of AI, would be learning geography or mathematics with the help of AI. So it would be a pedagogical integration. We are really looking forward to this. So this is another feather in our cap in CBSE. In the end, I would just like to say that it's been a long journey for the CBSE. We are 90 years old as on 1st of July. In 90 years, when we started out in 1929, 1st July, we had exactly 29 schools with us. In 90 years, we have 22,000 schools. We have more than 1.2 million teachers with us. We have about 20 million children with us. We have expanded a lot. And the more we expand, the more difficult we find, handling all our schools, handling the data, handling a lot of things. Now, with the kind of projects that I saw today, and I was noticing the last one which I saw was really interesting, where this child has, you ask a question and the question crawls through the textbook and detects an answer. Similarly, I found things like the MedBot, things like the drone and things like that, which you can use in the schools, wastage of food in the canteen. My God, one would never have thought of it. So these kind of things is the future, and this is what is going to help us do better school management, better examination management, better curriculum management. So I look forward to this AI-ridden future. Thank you.
We are really thankful to you, Ms. Anita Karwal, for your initiatives and for sharing your thoughts with us. Without artificial intelligence and virtual reality, we are all Robinson Crusoe of the 21st century, lonely and living in isolated lands, as remarked by Elmar Hussain. Now I would like to welcome Mr. Brian Gonzalez to please share a few words about the future workforce and emerging technologies. Mr. Gonzalez is the Senior Director for Global Partnerships and Initiatives within Intel's government's Markets and Trade team based in Washington, D.C. He has taken on a range of global leadership roles, driving large-scale national programs with partners to accelerate educational outcomes through technology adoption. He is a frequent speaker on the impact of Industry 4.0 on transformational education programs, technology infrastructure for improved outcomes, and global collaboration.
Welcome. My name is Brian Gonzalez. I'm a Senior Director of our Global Partnerships and Initiatives at Intel Corporation. It is my absolute pleasure that you have decided to join me here for a small session that we're going to have around the digital readiness of the future workforce. At Intel, we have a strong commitment to looking at ways that technology can impact the lives of everyone around the planet. In today's presentation, I want to talk to you about a set of technologies, specifically about AI. I want to talk a little bit about the myths and the misconceptions about AI, but also I want to focus in on the opportunities that we have together to unleash the capabilities of these new technologies. Let me start with the first slide around the hype and reality. When it comes to discussion around AI, there's a lot of press around job displacement and computers taking over the world. There's an underlying assumption that there's a competition between man and machine. The fact is that if you look at the opportunities that we have around machine and human interaction, the opportunities are endless. At Intel, we have seen that technology properly implemented can not only change lives, it can save lives. Especially in these very challenging and difficult times, we all have seen the impact that technology can have. However, that does not take away from the perception that many have around the interaction between computers and humans. And to that extent, there's a lot of misconceptions. We will be left behind. There's another view that says that the new technology will take over everything. The truth lies in what we make of it. And that's the discussion that I want to have today. Not about so much the hype, but about the reality, the impact that we can all have in bringing in this new wave of technology, and the important role that you all will play in doing that. Today, I want to bring to your attention a book that I have found useful as I look at the interaction between humans and machine. It's a book by Doherty and Wilson. In this book, they reimagine the opportunities that we have to build new opportunities, not only for ourselves, but look at ways that we can engage in machines in a way that really create new value. It looks at technology in a way of what we need to do and how we need to do some things differently. As part of this, it studies the dynamic between humans and machines. In the next slide, I want to focus here on what they say as the continuum between human activity and machine activity. In the human domain, there's areas of leading and empathy, creation and judgment. In the machine domain, there's transactions, iterations, adaptability. They focus on an area which they call the middle. In this area, humans can complement the machines as they better learn through machine language and algorithms. And in doing so, they give us new capabilities, which they call human superpowers. And I'd like to give you 3 examples of that. For example, in the terms of amplify, we can look at augmented capabilities that machines give us in terms of analyzing vast quantities of data. This data can help researchers from anything to looking at a new way to study a virus, or look at a way that we can address causes of cancer, that can also look at ways that we can predict the weather. So again, it can amplify our capabilities by understanding and looking at the data. Another example is the way that AI can give us human superpowers by the way that we can interact with the data. Intelligent assistants that can help us in terms of even doing our homework, having ways that the data is presented to us in a way that can be adaptive to the way that we like to learn. AI can give us a tremendous capability in the way that we interact with each other and also with other machines. And lastly, embody. Using the interaction of the human elements of programming, algorithmic thinking, we can program autonomous robots. For example, we see in Kenya the examples of drones that help bring medicines to remote villages. So we can look at technology and this interaction with machines in a lot of different ways. We can look at it as rivals, or we can look at it as allies. And the way that we like to look at it from an Intel perspective is that this technology can unleash a lot of the human capability. And we want to work around the world to be able to bring the skill set of developing these capabilities from an AI perspective. And we see that these will create tremendous value and new opportunities and new jobs. And when we look at the opportunities around the world, we see that in one way, yes, industries may be disrupted, but in any disruption, there's an opportunity to bring and create a new value. We see that the data is a new oil, that richness can come from understanding the data. A lot of the work that happens around AI is to make sense of data. And we see that this creates new opportunities, new profitability, and also can create new jobs, new and exciting ways of looking at our current work. It is very clear that this creates business opportunities, but most importantly, it creates an opportunity for new levels of national competitiveness. Governments are very interested in this area, and they should be, because this creates opportunities for us in our countries to tackle problems that we face and to find new ways to help each other. The adoption of AI is at the very early stages. I'm excited for you all that are coming to these sessions and learning about the possibilities that AI can bring. At Intel, as I mentioned previously, we're committed to making sure that the technology access is very inclusive. We recognize that around the world, it's not about having a lack of talent, it's talent that lacks access. We're committed to building a digital readiness partnership that we have just announced recently, and we're well on track to have 30 country partners to engage with 30,000 institutions and to be able to reach 30 million people with AI skills before 2030. It is a journey that is ambitious, and it's a journey that we are so excited to, and the sessions that we're having this week are part of that journey. And we are excited that you're with us today and that you will be joining us in this opportunity to bring an inclusive set of technologies and tools that we can bring together to help the problems that we face, and to help overcome challenges and create new opportunities. As I mentioned, we are well on our way. We have 11 countries already that we are engaged in. We're super excited about the opportunity that we see now in India in taking the next level of engagement. And this is a program that is global in scope. When you think about the role of technology, it's not just about what happens in one country, it's how we can work together to solve the problems that we face. Having this ability to connect and to start having these capabilities in countries is going to be to the benefit of all of us. Today, I want to bring you an example from the United States. This is one example of a school system in the United States in Arizona called the Maricopa Community College System. Maricopa Community College professors got together with teams at Intel to help develop the first artificial intelligence associate's degree in the United States. In this video, you will see what challenges they were looking to face, how they came about to develop this system, and what are some of the capabilities that they now are able to bring to their students.
Intel chose Maricopa Community College District to go ahead and be the first in the United States to use their curriculum for AI.
AI can be used from fashion to finance.
And it's the combining of human capabilities with machine capabilities.
Any industry will be utilizing AI.
So this program is a joint effort between us, Maricopa Community College District, Chandler Gilbert, and Estrella Mountain. It's a joint effort to offer the first associate degree in the nation in artificial intelligence and machine learning.
That we're teaching what's relevant, we're teaching the newest technologies. So the opportunity to provide this for our students will be really good for the district, for Maricopa County, and for the state of Arizona.
What does the industry need? Okay, and so when we're partnering with Intel, we know what the industry is looking for and what they require for their employees. They're going to have the right skills that are needed.
It's driven by the industry. It's worked the industry and faculty together in developing the course, developing the program.
The one thing Maricopa Community Colleges is doing is just jumping head in and saying, hey, what do we need to do to get this done? How are we going to make this successful for our students?
So in Arizona, we have a very large amount of high-tech companies that directly use artificial intelligence, and some of those are Intel, Northrop Grumman, Raytheon, General Dynamics, Microchip. I mean, that's just to name a few.
It's going to make a societal impact as well when students start reaching out to the community and working on various projects.
The big advantage I see in having the program here and at our level is that the Maricopa Community Colleges is a very diverse place. And one of the big risks in AI is that if all the work is done from just one particular perspective, that the AI can become biased, just as people can become biased. And so it's really important to have, a diversity of voices participating in this.
So to be able to prepare students and the workforce to meet this need, it's just very exciting to be a part of that.
Supporting the faculty to have the tools and the resources to move to the next level of innovation. This is how we make it happen in Maricopa.
In this last slide, I'd like to leave you with a quote from Robert Noyce, one of the co-founders of Intel. Don't be encumbered by history. Go off and do something wonderful. That is a sentiment that rings stronger today more than ever. I want to thank you for your time and attention. I want you to go out and think about the wonderful things that you can do with these new skills that you're developing, things that you can do for your community, things that you can do for your country, things that you can do to help us all around the world. I want to thank you for your time and wish you well on your journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. That was very motivating. Technology is evolving every minute, and to make efficient use of it, we will have to continuously upskill ourselves. Before we move forward, may we present a small video showcasing our partnership towards building an AI-ready generation. May we have the video, please?
Artificial intelligence, or AI, is bringing disruption across industries, and education is no different. AI is enriching the way we live and work. access to human talent with AI skills is key to an economy's digital revitalization. India needs an AI-ready workforce. Central Board of Secondary Education, CBSE and Intel are working together to drive an immersive, age-appropriate AI readiness program based on experiential methodologies. They have released an AI curriculum for youth studying in classes 8th to 10th, which covers both social and technology skills. It enables youth to demystify AI, equips them with skill sets, a relevant mindset, and democratizes access to AI tools. Youth are skilled to build meaningful social impact solutions as an evidence of their achievement. Today, we are hosting a first-of-its-kind AI for Youth Symposium to drive engagement with leaders, explore emerging AI technologies, gain from immersive AI experiences, and witness AI social impact projects in a virtual environment.
Hello everyone, my name is Karthikey Pandey. I'm a student of grade 11 from Delhi Public School, Bangalore. In recent times, when all our classes are being held online because students are staying at home, it has become hard to concentrate on topics due to multiple distractions around us. Because of this, a lot of concepts remain unclear and this is impacting our knowledge and learning. Now, me being in grade 11 and preparing for JEE does not make it easier for me. Not only students, but also people working from home online are facing this problem. To solve this problem, I came up with a simple software known as NoteX. It records meetings and converts it into text, which further creates summaries, minutes of the meeting, and notes for the same. Once we log on to the system, it gives us 3 options to feed input. We can either insert pre-made text documents or provide the software with a pre-recorded meeting in the WAV format, or directly record the meeting through the application. The final document is printed and displayed to the user for editing and reviews. One can also use this model to immediately summarize text documents. One simply has to insert a text document and receive the summary in a snap.
Hello everyone, my name is Talia Manoj and I am a student of class 10 in Vidya Mandir Estancia in Chennai. I recently got to know about artificial intelligence through the Intel AI for Youth program. In this journey, I was able to understand how AI has the power to ease our lives to a great extent. Hence, to make use of this, I started looking for problems around me that I could solve using AI. While doing so, I came across the scenario of differently abled people, especially the deaf and dumb. People who cannot speak or hear properly often have difficulty in communicating with others. These people use sign language to express their emotions and thoughts. Sign language comprises of various hand gestures that symbolize specific letters, words, and even emotions. But since it is very different from any other language used by normal people, there exists a gap in communication. In order to bridge this gap, I have come up with an AI-enabled solution, and my idea is called the Sign Language Translator. It detects all sign languages and converts it to a commonly used language such as English. As soon as the model is turned on, the camera connected to it starts recording all hand gestures made in front of it. TensorFlow model working at the back end simultaneously converts the hand gestures to respective letters and prints them on the output screen. As soon as the user switches the camera off, the predicted letters are clubbed together to form meaningful words or sentences. Not only this, but the model also speaks it out loud at completion. To make this system, I have trained my model with numerous images of various hand gestures and tagged them with their respective letters. I wish to enhance it further to be able to predict emotions and whole words as well. With the help of this model, anyone can easily interact with people with hearing and speaking impairments and make the world more inclusive for them.
With AI applications growing across disciplines, CBSE and Intel also developed a multidisciplinary AI-integrated pedagogical approach to enhance teaching and learning outcomes. 232 multidisciplinary AI-integrated lesson plans were curated across various domains with the help of pedagogy and subject matter experts to help school teachers incorporate AI tools in teaching for experiential learning. For an AI-ready generation, schools also need relevant infrastructure, toolsets and resources. Based on the Model AI Lab at KVS Rashtrapati Bhavan, CBSE and Intel are launching AI skill labs in the states of Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim and Tripura. These labs will provide AI toolsets and a curriculum for real-world application. This will enable youth from Northeast region to create meaningful AI projects relevant to their communities. AI's transformative nature provides India a unique opportunity to trace its own path and create a workforce for the future. We are driven towards empowering youth to develop and deploy innovative AI solutions in an inclusive, trusted, and responsible manner.